So last year at Opensauce, they had a giant Among Us with a huge dumpy, and I wanted to film the intro for these videos in front of it for this year's Opensauce. And unfortunately, they didn't have it at Opensauce this year. So enjoy this hastily edited B-roll footage over voiceover because I forgot to film any sort of intro on site. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some totally radical tubular 3D printed surfboards and what does it take to backpack a printer around a festival. I'm Taylor, the Canuck creator, and let's get started.
So 3D printing is pretty cool and surfing is totally rad. So here at SWELLCYCLE, they combine the two. So what do you got here?
Yeah, so hey, I'm Patricio, and here we have a 3D printed longboard. It's totally hollow on the inside, no foam, and it was printed in two pieces. You can see the seam line right here, and it took about 8 days to print this guy.
So these you're selling these, or is this just a project, or?
They will be available soon. Yeah, we're starting a company that basically turns trash into surfboards. So this board right here was made from hospital trays.
Wait, so this is actually all recycled plastic here?
This is all recycled plastic, and at the end of the life of the board, we're gonna turn it into other objects as well. So that's an example right here. This fin was basically made from manufacturing waste from making these boards right here. And this is what a surfboard looks like when it's ground down and turned into little bits. So we're doing a lot of research to figure out how we can turn these things into other products such as surfboard stands, fins, and other knickknacks like these guys right here.
So you're taking recycled plastic. So what's the whole process to go from, in this case, recycled trays, you said, into a surfboard? So what goes through the whole process there?
Yeah, so hospital trays, we have a supplier from the Netherlands called Reflow, and they're awesome. They basically take hospital trays, grind them down, and then turn them into a filament. And then from that, we put that into our machines that basically print the boards you see here. And then when the boards come out of the machines, they kind of look like these little guys right there.
So this is the raw plastic as it comes off the printer,
exactly,
right?
That's the PETG right there.
Okay.
And you can feel it's got the ridges, it's a little rough, but it has all of the dimensions that are important for surfing. So after we print it, we send it to our glassers that they add this very strong outer skin, which is a glass and resin layer.
Okay, so you're printing the body and then you're wrapping it in fiberglass because surfboard's got to be smooth, right? For
That's
surfing, right?
Exactly.
So this is actually nice and smooth now.
Yeah, and you can see some of the resin art boards that we have over here as well.
So is this the same process?
Yeah, and the cool thing is that we can work with shapers and artists to make these boards after they're printed. So let me show you what that can look like.
Oh, that is cool.
And so we have resin swirls. So an artist in LA called Rye Harris worked on this board right here. And it came out really, really beautiful. And it's an eco board, gold level certified.
That means
it's an eco board, gold level certified. So that means that this board has been reviewed by an external party to make sure that it is sustainable.
Oh.
You should check these guys out. They're super cool. They're Sustain Surf.
Oh, nice. So is there a practical advantage for like a surfer to choose a board like this over a more traditional surfboard? I am not a surfer, so I am completely out of my element here.
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, the advantage of being able to print the inside of the board, it gives you the ability to tune the board to a specific flex pattern and weight density now. So these lattice structures that you see inside basically allow you to tune the board like you would a guitar or something like that.
Oh, nice, nice. So you have a little bit more control over how the board is made. Nice.
And there's no foam, which is the coolest part.
Nobody likes foam.
And you can hear how hollow it is.
Yeah.
So this one actually turns on, and I can show you that in a second.
It turns on?
Yeah. You want to see it?
Yeah.
But it's going to take a little while.
So you got LEDs in there? Or?
Yeah, we got LEDs in this one. This thing has been charging all night.
right, you take that off.
And then here is the microcontroller.
Yeah, just a generic battery bank.
And the little battery.
Ooh. Okay, that's pretty cool now. That is pretty cool. So that would make surfing at night pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, during the full moon or something like that. I've surfed at night several times, and it's hard to see people when you're in there. So hopefully this will help prevent people crashing, and it'll also make it look beautiful. And you can change the patterns. It can be rainbows or twinkly lights, or you can change it to your favorite color too. So
that is pretty sweet.
Very exciting. I can't wait until we make a longboard that is that lights up.
That is something actually really cool to see. And last question, what are you printing these on? These are pretty big. Is this a single print?
This is actually two prints. So
there is a seam?
We made this one a long time ago. It was one of our first boards. This one was made in one piece, so there's no seam here. You can see how we're basically printing it on a heavily modified boron. So
for Z or XY, is it? Really tall.
For tall.
Really tall. Okay,
really tall.
cool.
We print vertically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's because we care a lot about the bottom contours of the board.
Yeah, you're going to get more accuracy if you print vertically. And then once you put the fiberglass in, all those layer lines basically disappear, so it's not an issue.
Exactly.
That is really cool.
Thank you.
So if people want to know more, they can find you at here, I guess, SWELLCYCLE?
Yeah. SWELLCYCLE, surfboards.com.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, so we're wandering the floor here at Opensauce in San Francisco, and I've got Mitch 3D here, and Mitch has a backpack, but it's a pretty cool backpack because it's also a 3D printer. So Mitch, what do we got here?
Well, I have a 3D printer on my back, and I've been doing this for about, 6 or 7 years now, and I just continually improve the design every time I go. But yeah, basically, it's a CNC Delta printer design that I've just added Duet electronics, an orbiter, extruder, a Revo hot end, a bunch of machine parts. It's really heavy and it's really sturdy.
Yeah, because if you've been to a Rep Rap Fest before, you've probably seen Mitch.
Yes.
And this machine has had some evolution. So the current iteration is a pretty beefy machine for your backpack. So how much does it weigh?
It's about 35 pounds, about 13 kilos, I think.
Okay, and it is a fully functional 3D printer here.
Correct.
And it looks like we're running on batteries here. Those are just straight up drill batteries, right?
Yeah, Harbor Freight, it has a tube pack for $80, so it's a really cheap battery solution. And then I have fuses, diodes to allow it to be hot swappable. I have low voltage cutoff relays to protect the batteries from going over discharging, and then it's stepped up to a 24-volt system.
That is awesome.
Yep.
So we have it printing here, and this is a full-size printer. What do you say it's based on?
It's based on the CNC H2, which is based on the Rostock Max, an old design. It's 220 millimeter diameter by 200 millimeter height of print capability.
And of course, you've had a bunch of custom work done on this thing.
And so I'm using cookie CAD filament right now. When I got here, one of the carriages broke, and I actually
let me find it. It's this one right here.
Yeah. So the orange part that on there, I had to reverse engineer because it was injection molded, and then I reprinted it. I actually had multiple revisions printing on multiple printers, and the final revision was on the positron.
Which is this guy.
So a portable printer fixing a portable printer.
That's the joy of Rep Rap.
It is. This is very Rep Rap.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people here that can print. So it wasn't gonna be hard to find replacement parts.
Correct. Yeah.
So this is really cool. Now, is there any documentation for this, or is this a one-off custom?
So I've built 3 backpack printers. The last one I did for SliceWorks, that was a Kingery KP3S, so a much more affordable machine.
Yep.
Using a Mole 2 backpack frame for the military. That's probably more accessible to build. This is very custom. The CNC H2 is an open source design. but I do not have everything. My Fusion files are a mess. So
fair enough.
If you want to build a backpack printer, I will give you all the pointers you want to know.
But the RV Dragons kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
This is really cool. And how much runtime are you getting on it?
I'm getting about 3 to 4 hours per pair of batteries. I'm running a cold bed right now. If I run it at 60 degrees C, it's probably more like 2 to 3 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they can find you at Mitch3D?
Mitch3D.com. The website will be updated hopefully soon. And then I'm the Mitch22 on all the other socials.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.